me to hell, Jason. I'm here to return the favor. I'm feeling strange, trapped in the grave. All alone, I'm riding my own skin. So see as I say, a choking restraint. The perfect flame lays down my own name. Girls rising. Girls rising. The scars remain, a deeper disdain. A black shield, blinded response. From here I cling to the ones that remain. Exile without reason. I'm trying to catch the feelings we build this like someone is clear to blow. I'm building the power, strengthening the arm, and building the wall. Welcome to your demonstration.
People and things over there like something. Fall.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Spawn Review. Good to see you guys. Episode 35. We're going to do something different tonight, and I think it's going to be really, really fun. But before we do, I just want to say hey to the cutest little guy right next to me on my left, Mr.
Hey,
Sean
brother.
Arendt. What's
How
going
you
on,
doing?
brother?
It's going
I'm doing
great.
good, man. I'm
Big
doing
things,
good.
big things, but I can't tell you secrets.
Oh, shit. Secrets even from me?
Well, I'll tell you after.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
It won't be secret for very long. We got Paul Thayer in the house, creator and writer of Project Naosis. What's going on, brother?
It's going really well. $96 away from our goal on day 4. Let's fucking go. Check us out.
You are killing it, man. I'm very, very excited for you guys. If you haven't yet, please check it out. Links, if you got mods in the chat, which I do see them in there, please drop the link to the newest Project Naosis Kickstarter in the chat for us, please. We also have with us a celebrity in our midst, our good friend. Our good friend. I got to say it every single time. The man, the myth, the legend. Gooch Prime now.
No.
Gooch Prime. Look at that.
Oh yeah, I still have that up there. Okay. What's up? Medscape. It's in the name.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm happy to be here. I'm sorry I have been missing some weeks. Real life stuff, going on, and I'm just trying to sort things out. But I apologize. I am excited to be here. I'm excited to talk about the future of Spawn because, we have our own ideas and we should share them tonight. So
Yes,
let's do it.
We do.
Let's do it.
We are missing one of our panel, but I'm sure Zach will be jumping in late as he always does because he doesn't own a clock or anything. So we'll find out. Yeah.
We'll
Well,
be shutting
that
out.
little guy has trouble looking up at the clock.
And
so,
Gooch, don't
And
worry.
what's
You weren't missed too much because I always make sure to thank you every single one you weren't on.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Every
I'm sure you
single
do.
time.
That is
Thank
true.
you every single time. I've
Yes.
done it. Even when I was talking about my Kickstarter, I say, thank you, Gooch.
Yes. And
Yeah.
who did you yell at? Who did you yell at for me?
Zach, every time.
Good.
Every
Thank
time.
you. Thank you.
Every time. Yeah, he holds it down. That is an absolute fact. Before we get rolling, let's say hi to the chat real quick. Mark Penguin was number 1 in the chat and number 1 in our hearts. Thank you for being here, brother. Reclaiming the number 1 spot. Kunto Hare had it last night on the Ronan Joe show for the first time, but Mark came back with a vengeance tonight. And that means you are number 1, my friend.
You're number 1.
Great to see you. Thank you for being here. Hail the Lores in the house.
Yeah.
Great to see you. Assimilating knowledge, new YouTube guy going around getting a lot of interviews. I'm going to be with him on the 10th, I think, of April on his show.
Nice.
So check that out. Everybody go sub to his channel. Assimilating knowledge, you're modded up. Drop a link to your channel so everybody can go sub to you. Let's get him some follows, guys. Got Eric in the house with the what am I looking at here?
It's a face.
It's kind of a eyes and lips
Eyes.
face.
I see a face.
Eye, kissy. I don't know. I don't get it, but thank you, brother. Appreciate you. We do have member of the channel, Cosmic Studios in the house. He's Ward. What is going on, brother?
Oh my god! I'm sorry! I can't stop coming! I'm sorry! Oh, it feels so good!
It feels so good to have you in the chat tonight. Yes, it is not for this is not a child's show. Put them to bed. Wiley J. Draws is in the house. Says, where does Spawn usually set his terms of sales top 100? I have no idea. We're gonna have to look that up for you.
Did he not show that anymore?
2020, he had the number 1 book for Spawn 300, but I'm pretty sure he's always top 5, at least for Spawn. I know we looked up King Spawn recently, and that was at like 30K. But all the big heavy hitters now are hitting 400,000. So
Yeah. That was an interesting discussion with Batman Hush 2 pulling in 400,000 orders with 18 covers though.
Jesus.
Also, Battle Beast did over 400,000 as well.
Wow, really?
Nice. Shout out to
Nice.
Otley and
I can't
Kirkman
wait
on
for
that.
that.
I think
So
that one's got
good.
legitimate excitement.
Yeah.
Battle Beast. We'll probably be covering that on Otten stuff going forward at some point. Pizza's in the house. Great to see you. He says, hello from Peru. Hello to you, my friend. Hello to you. Time Scales as well as in the house. What's going on, brother?
What's up, Rico?
We also have Christopher Bouchard's in the house. What's going on, my friend? Great to see you. Guys, let everybody know we're live. Share the show out. Go into other people's DMs or to chats if you're modded up. Like I say, steal the audience. Drop the link in there. You tell them we're live. And if they get mad at you, you say, come and talk to me. All right? I'll take care of it. Don't worry. You won't get in trouble. Yeah, that Mafia style would do that. Also, wherever you're at, if you're on YouTube, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Share the channel out to everybody. Comment below. Do all those things. Help this channel grow. I'd really appreciate it. If you are on X, just share it out. Let people know we're live. And over on Rumble, if you're watching on Rumble, please hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel too. We got 2 people over there. Appreciate you guys watching over on Rumble. This is the Spawn review. Again, like I said, episode 35. It is titled What We Think Will Happen If We Wrote Spawn. So there are 2 things I want to talk about tonight. One, we were kind of just recapping. I'm going to have Paul recap issue 362 for us because Jay missed the show last week. So we're going to bring everybody up to speed so we can get to right where we're going to jump off at. And then we're going to jump into the future. And we're going to speculate on where the Spawn story is going and what we're going to expect in 375 up to 400. And then I want to talk about if we were writing Spawn, if they gave us the reins and they said, the Spawn review, we want you to take over writing this book. Where are you going to take the book? We have thoughts. So Paul, you want to bring everybody up to speed real quick? I have to do something. I'll be right back.
You got it. So from issue 350, Spawn has lost his powers, right? It was 350 or 360. He lost his powers. 350. And, we were battling the vampires for quite some time. But as of 360, he got his powers back from Nyx, who's the leader of Hell, from her zombified body. And now we're following Spawn with his powers. And as soon as he gets his powers, he faces off with this new character, Bulletproof, pretty sure Omega, and there was a Curse of Spawn, and there was another character, too, that he was facing off against.
Tremor was there.
Mm-hmm.
Tremor, okay. And then they're all facing off, and, but they're not facing off to beat his ass. They're confronting him to be their leader and join them in facing off against the other factions, which is Heaven, which is Hell, and which is Green World. And he wants no part of it. We were talking about how he was big, dick. He doesn't want to work with anybody. He just wants to work with himself. And as soon as this happens, Mandarin Spawn comes into play. Mandarin Spawn, we discussed super cool action figure that came out, but haven't seen too much of Mandarin Spawn's been on some covers. And basically Mandarin Spawn says, you are joining us and you're not number 1. You're basically number 2. You're my bitch. And, Spawn didn't like that. And guess what Spawn did? He took Mandarin Spawn, put her in the cape, and then beat her ass. And then we found out it was Wanda. So Wanda is now back in the game. And, for a while we thought she could have took the throne. And, we thought maybe she would have been a couple other characters. But she's not. She is a Spawn. And that's where we're left off. And, we did discuss with Brett Booth what kind of does come in the next 2 issues, but there was no Wanda included. So
yeah, so that was the big cliffhanger of the last episode or last issue. Why don't I always do that? The last issue is that Wanda is back. We've been speculating for a while where the hell she was after seeing her the last time. I think it was 351 we saw her. And we only knew that she had made it out of Hell because Cyan had told Spawn in 352 or whatever it was that she had made it out and that she was fine and Al needed to deal with whatever he needed to deal with. And now she comes back as the Mandarin Spawn. Lots of questions. How the hell did she become the Mandarin Spawn? How'd she get out of Hell? Where did she get this power? And what is her real purpose? So some really good setup. I was very excited for the issue. It was a great issue. I thought they would hold off Wanda a little bit longer, so she came back a little bit sooner than I thought, but I think everybody was still very excited about the issue itself. Before we get going, though, We do have this guy. Is he even paying attention to the show?
Look at this guy. Look
There
at
he
I'm
is.
paying attention.
There you are.
Look at this freaking guy. Look at that beautiful little face. Look at him.
Look at it.
Yeah.
What's up,
Did you
y'all?
going
did you get your booster seat for the plane ride?
Man, still not excited.
Oh, jeez. Oh, that's right. You don't like to fly, right? Same here, man.
I've never flown, so of course I'm gonna have that
Bunch of
feeling. But
pussies.
You gotta take lots of drugs, drink a little bit.
I'm
know?
probably
I
gonna
definitely
be
would
on.
not do that if you've never flown before. So when you get thrown off, you're also a threat. You know.
Yeah.
I'm probably definitely gonna have some Xanax like right before I get on. Like
Whoa.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
There you go.
We
Hit
do
the
not
bar.
sponsor Xanax on this channel.
We could though.
We should.
I'll take all the sponsors.
Yeah.
Xanax, hit me
Well,
up.
a couple things. Let's get the chat
Chats.
to share the stream. Let's get that stream out there so we get some more
Yes.
people in here. Secondly, super chats. Don't be afraid to send a super chat. Ask any questions. This guy works his tail off. This little cute guy works his little tail feather off. Send the super chats so we can
Okay,
help him
Brad.
out. Build up the channel. Come on, let's do this. We can do it. And you know what? You might get like some sneak peeks. No, I'm not saying he'll lift up his
Oh,
shirt
yeah.
or anything like that, but like you never know. You
Yeah,
never
I'll
know.
do it. It's something cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
No, I was
what we-
talking about Zach.
Oh,
But, you know, yeah.
We're the only channel that found out that information of God coming
Yes.
back. We do get the deets up in here. We do get the exclusive.
What's up, Vex?
We do. Vex is in the house. What is going on? So howdy, everybody. Howdy, the Gooch and Zachy. Aw.
Oh,
what's
cute.
up?
I'm gonna start calling you Zachy.
Oh
Zachy,
please,
Zachy.
please.
Yes.
fucking
No.
don't.
I think that's
share the
it.
stream, Vex. Vex, share the stream for us.
We'd
And
really
also
appreciate it. Thank you.
assimilating knowledge. I substitute so you're aware. So
Yeah, everybody do that. He's going to be having a lot of interviews, hitting a lot of people up. Like I said, I will be on his channel on the 10th, so definitely do that so you can come over and hang in the chat when I'm over there, when the Gooch is over there, or Paul's over there, if Sean's over there. We'll all be over there at some point, I guarantee it. All right. Going forward with the story, we've speculated so much over the course of the last few months or so. We still have a gap in time where we don't know when it's going to happen, but issue 358 or whatever it was, where the curse came back, and we did that small jump ahead in time where the battle was already over. It looks like maybe they lost. They're talking about the Lord's light. Like there's all this stuff happening that pulls us back again into the present as he's getting his powers back. Now, however long that takes to get there, I don't know if that's going to be 375 or if it's going to be 400. What do we think is going to happen now that Wanda is back? And she's not as powerful as Spawn as we saw, but she's got some power. She held her own with Spawn for a split second because she was faster than him with a lot of the moves, but he overpowered her with the immense power that he's got. What is going to happen now that everybody's got their powers back? We have the vampires, we have heaven, we have hell, we have Green World that we haven't really seen anything with since Jim Downing showed up a few issues back. Where do we think we're going from here? Sean, I'm gonna start with you. Let's just go around the board and let's see what everybody's thoughts are and if we are aligning on some of the things we're thinking.
Like, okay, so with Wanda being the Mandarin spawn, like that threw me through a loop because in Scorched, maybe about a year or so ago, they confronted the Mandarin spawn. I think it was in Scorched or Spawn. I don't know. It was a while. I smoked a lot of weed. So I'm like,
I think it was Scorched.
so was she him it at that time? Because
That's
is
a good question.
before 350. And 350, or lead up to 350, when her and Al were on the journey, like, was she doing multiple lives? Was like, is this a new Mandarin spawn? Like, that's where I really want to kind of find out answers.
I think it's new, but that's just me.
Yeah, but I want to find what happened to that guy, because that guy was a real threat. Like, they were scared of him. Could be.
Well, who knows? We had the whole few months there when nobody had their powers.
Yeah.
Maybe he is dead.
Yeah.
You know?
I would also like to see Alanis Morissette make a sneak peek, a cameo
As God?
As God. Just because. Shout out Dogma. And kind of go from there. But yeah, I would like to see him bring up some of the old toys. You know, because like the toys that were stuff from like Curse of Spawn from back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like guys we've never fucked with in the main title. which he's kind of doing now, a little breadcrumbing like here and there.
Yeah.
Give me that universe. Like it's been almost 30 years. Like let's see those characters in one way or form, and I'll be happy. Because at the end of the day, it's always gonna be heaven and hell, like with Spawn. And other than that, Jay.
Well, it's gonna be interesting to see where the vampires fit into this. Also, where Lyra, and I think that's her name, I can never remember, her dad, the Angel Sect, all these new characters that they've introduced, plus all the old stuff, like you're saying, if he's bringing a lot of the toys back and just building up to this massive thing. I think it's gonna be something huge. Gooch, what are you thinking on where they might be going with the story? Let's just say leading up to 375. Let's just put a target on it right now for 375.
Well, this has become bigger picture. So the one person that we do not talk about is Jason Wynn. So
True.
he's kind of like the Tornaga, like of Shogun. He's sitting back and he's playing chess, like 4D chess, and everyone's still playing checkers. He's like 10 moves ahead of everyone, it seems like. He's had deals with those vampires, and it seems like that was really convenient at that time, knowing what was happening. Now, did he know? It seems like to me now, knowing what we know, that he could have had Wanda go down to hell with Spawn at that point to get information to figure out who will actually take the throne, and kind of figure out as it goes. So that is one thing I'm kind of wondering is like, is she working with Jason Wynn? Like, is that group working with Jason Wynn?
Interesting.
Does he have a deal with Green World? Because it seems like he's having deals with everybody at this moment as he, is plotting out, wars between everybody. And the Spawn piece, I think he is thinking that he is ahead of the game when really he's actually 5 steps behind Wynn, and Hell and Nyx is like 5 steps behind Spawn. So like, it seems like everyone's trying to catch up to figure out who's doing what in this world at this moment, who has power, who doesn't have power, what is everyone capable of. It's an interesting story right now, because it's scattered all throughout. It's leaving you guessing who actually has control and knows what's going on. And that's where I'm kind of like focusing on. Is it Wynn? Is it Green World that's like that's hidden in the background, just observing and making moves without anyone knowing? Is it heaven? Is it hell? Like we got to figure that piece out. And Spawn is obviously the focal point, right? Because he's the kick-ass character. So yeah, it's really interesting times.
A lot of mysteries. I like it because there's definitely a lot of questions out there. First off, Nadia's in the house. Says she's not sticking around because Kayla's not here. But Kayla's never on the show except for one time. One, maybe more than once, but one that I can remember. But I think she's still sick. So shout out to Kayla. Hope she's feeling better. Nadia, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Paul, what are you thinking? Kind of playing off what the Gooch is saying, what Sean has said. What do you think where we're going from here now that we know that Wanda's back, Mandalorian Spawn, we got this kick-ass new character of Bulletproof, who is like the Spawn universe Deadpool or Deathstroke character. Really awesome. We don't know too much about him. We talked about if he might be a mystery character from the past or maybe a brand new character. We don't know. Where do you think we're going getting up here to 375, which we know will be a seminal issue before we get to 400?
Well, so we know at least at 365, God's coming out and he's going to cause some havoc. So when they were talking about what's the light was, I might have said it, one of us might have said it, but we thought God was coming, or we thought it was like a heaven version of Spawn, we thought too at the time.
True, yeah, yep.
But then clearly now we know that's God, right? And then second,
via Brett Booth.
Yeah. So Brett Booth told us, but that's just 65. We still got a lot more to go. I personally think God's going to clean house. God needs to clean house, or Spawn's going to end up using the majority of his power in that issue to fight God. But disputing that, Wanda was in hell, right? And then she only brought him to part of the journey, and then he had to finish the journey, right? I think it was in King Spawn they actually had that. Mm-hmm. And clearly to get back, she had to make a deal to become a Spawn. Maybe one of the Spawns got killed, and now she made a deal to become a Spawn to come back, because clearly we didn't see Mandarin Spawn until everyone got their powers back. And now that everyone got their powers back, she is now part of the realm. So my prediction for Wanda is that she's working possibly with Nyx.
I was thinking the same thing. If we know Nyx has a bigger plan in place, and she was pissed off that Al was running rogue and doing his thing, trying to take out Blood. because it was messing up her entire plan. So that's gonna be interesting to see how that actually
Here's a super
plays
chat, motherfucker.
into everything. We got just here to watch for $2. Thank you so much. Says, let's go. I appreciate you. If you haven't yet, please sub to the channel. That's awesome.
Yes.
Every little bit helps. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Are there going to be other new? Actually, you know what? First super chat of the night. I don't know. That's kind of offensive sometimes. You know what? You know what?
Offensive is good. Offensive is good.
Okay, we're doing this then.
That's a line.
That is a slash.
No,
Guns
that's
N' Roses.
looking like a spring.
String.
Come on, son.
Is that a cucumber?
It's
Oh, it's a penis. Those are balls. It's a big black dick. It's drawing black. It's a big black dick. It's a black cock down.
Thank you so much for the $2 super chat.
There we go.
I
We're
appreciate you.
Get it
That's
off great.
awesome.
Yeah, there we go.
That's awesome. Eric, who is our resident Spawn expert, because he always knows a lot in the chat, and I love it when he's in the chat helping out with the show, says, are there going to be other new characters other than Bulletproof? I do believe yes, from what Brett was saying. Yep.
Yeah, Brett was saying.
Who is going to come out with God? Clearly, some OP angels, right?
Well,
so we gotta
okay,
get some OP angels.
Let's go back to what you were saying with Wanda working for Nyx. So if Wanda was working for Nyx, okay.
Well, how did she become Spawn?
Wanda could, I mean, Nyx could have given him the
She
power.
has to be granted by someone in hell, right? Someone in hell has to make her a Spawn.
Well, that could have been before Nyx, though, and we don't know that.
But it wasn't because she was in hell.
Yeah, that was before Nyx.
See, now that is really interesting.
But she leaves hell. She leaves hell as a Spawn.
Yeah.
Right? And Mandarin Spawn was in there prior.
It doesn't mean she like it, that's I mean, when is fooling around with DNA and fooling around with a lot of like concoctions.
That's true.
Of like there's a lot to it. So, and I'm just going based on the conversation with Wanda and Spawn, that journey they had.
Yeah.
The conversation going back and forth. Like he was ready to give the throne to Wanda at one point. If we recall, right?
Yeah.
And she didn't take it. So like there's a lot there. Like, and she was wanting him to take it.
Yeah.
You know, you have to sacrifice. So like if she was working for Nyx, why would she want him to take the throne? Like there's a lot there.
Hell is a different time frame than everything else. Of what there was a whole war since Spawn's been out of there. So like I assume that past part has nothing to do with her. She's been down there, and then like whatever this war was or whatever, she had to earn the right, and like whatever she did proved her shit to become a Spawn, because they said, what was it, 10 years down there during the 10 books, or maybe longer, that all the angels and all the demons were fighting. So possibly I would say she had to escape and then maybe got the blessing, because the whole point is like they're setting up that Spawn, everyone's saying it, the prophecy guy, Nyx, everyone knows that Spawn is about to be used for something more, like the hardest thing he's ever going to attain, right? Like the thing, they need him for something.
I see you, Rossi.
Super
but
chat,
where is Violator?
That's a great question.
Oh shit, Violator was in the last issue too. There was two.
Well,
so when
the
Hell
clowns
came,
were.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Two of his clown minions were.
Came to Spawn, and Spawn was protecting him in his cape when he was fighting the Mandarin Spawn. But they instantly ran to him for comfort, and I think it's Violator just pretending to be some little shit to get the
There's
Spawn.
some interesting stuff with that. We got Rossi for $1.49 super sticker with a rose sticking up, which I hear is the good thing. That's the good rose.
An erect rose is a good rose.
An erect rose is a good rose.
An erect rose, yeah.
Also say much love, Gooch.
Much love to Rossi.
Great to see. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. Thank you for the $1.49 sticker. That is awesome.
You should play the thing again.
Share the stream, Rossi. Share the stream.
All right, let's do I got shorter ones. We can do
Pegging isn't new for me, friendo, but it is for Disney.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, so I was trying to actually bring up while you guys were talking about it, I was going to bring up
you got to bring up the little minions. The
I
little
have to get
minions
into my
clean.
account. Yeah, let me look for this real quick. I gotta get the book back up. It's in my email, but I wanted to bring it up to touch on a couple things. One, I had a theory at the end of the show last week, Gooch, that what if this Wanda isn't the real Wanda? And the only reason why I say that is there's something that
I
she
was going to
said.
mention that. Yeah, I was going to mention that.
There's something that she says at the end of the book that just makes me wonder. It doesn't sound particularly like her. So I wanted to touch on that, but I got to bring it up first. But yeah, so we don't know where Violator's at. We don't know where Sin's at. We don't know where, well, I guess we saw Jim Downing, but there's a lot of players still in place. And we still have no idea what Blood did after he basically beat the shit out of Spawn and left him there dead. We have no idea what Blood's doing in this whole episode where everyone's getting their powers back. Lots of questions going forward. Zach, what do you think, man? Where are we heading with this story so far? What are you pondering over there? I can see the wheels turning. The hamster's going fast.
1 second. Can I just sorry, Zach. Blue Boy Comics, that's what I was wondering. What if Wanda is a Violator in disguise? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
We talked about that last week because there's something odd about the way that Wanda came back. Now, I could be completely wrong, but it struck me as odd when I read it at first. I was like, great cliffhanger. But some things that she says, and I got to find it. I'm going to bring it up here in a second when I find it. So I'm going to let you guys talk. But there's some things that make me wonder what it could be. So shout out to Blue Boy. Wonder if Todd ever listens to these streams. I hope so. Todd, we love you. Come on the show.
Sorry, Todd. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Tag him. Tell him we want him here.
Yeah, tell him. All right, let me see if I can find this book. But yeah, keep on going that thought process. Zach, throwing it back to you. The floor is yours, my friend.
What did I say last stream? Talking about this. I think that if I had to spitball for a second without remembering what I was discussing beforehand, I believe that with the way that issue ended and the way it's going to go moving forward, that I don't know, man. It's I think it is really Wanda. I think something's happened in between that time frame, planning that. It's put a thing over her where she's like, I can't be part of this game, and in order for me to, I need to help. It really all starts with Al's promise to me, to come back to me, and I think it really is her. So she kind of found, she discovered this newfound love for him through this time frame. Because I mean, this is what it's really all about, was because of that promise, just to get back to her and how much he sacrificed. And I don't think Wanda's ever realized how much hell he's been through just to do what he was doing, just for that simple promise. So I do think it is her thinking about it. When it comes to the future of this game that's going on, I think that God is definitely coming into play. I think Al Simmons, he's going to create. Oh, that's what it was. I remember. I believe he's going to create a new realm or a new reality where you have your heaven and you have your heaven, hell, green world, and then you have Spawn world or some shit where it's like everyone doesn't have to suffer. There's no game, like there's no strings attached, like your souls will start trickling over to this realm that I've made, by him acquiring the power of like it could be him acquiring like a fraction of God's power, or combined with Nick's power, just to create that new realm or reality, because there's definitely going to be a big war coming down. And I think that with the combined efforts of Wanda and Al, that possible reality could be something interesting. So there'll be a fourth realm in play. So that's where I think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I don't know if I would like that too much, because now we're getting to like multiverse and multi, realms, and it just takes away from the fight the fight for the Earth realm. That's what they're all there for, right? And so I think that would take away that lust for human, like obviously hell likes the sins and souls and stuff like that, and then obviously heaven protecting people who are praising God.
So
and all
I
that.
have a rebuttal to that. So in order for the reason why Earth is being protected is because the people that die on Earth their souls are automatically going to one or two places.
Mhm.
So a solution to that would be if he was to create another realm, another reality where those souls can be diverted off into that new realm,
But
right?
we already have Purgatory and we already have Green World. So now you're adding
Purgatory,
another.
so Purgatory is just that offset section before you're determined in where you're going,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
that I think that's just more of the bus stop station, before you get your ticket, to your
Mhm.
destination. So I think Purgatory will still be that considered gateway to all the other realms and whatnot. But that I think the point remains is that, in order for Al because Al is all about control, and he's all about making sure that things are going into a specific way that he deems necessary. And I think that if he was to create a realm, that would be the ultimate control for him to
But
benefit.
couldn't he just be in hell and make it whatever he wants?
Yeah.
But
That
hell has rules. So in the Violator miniseries, there's an issue, and same thing in Spawn issue like 6 or 7, where Billy Kincaid gets killed. And then he starts getting walked through the pillar of layers and whatnot before he gets to the the necroplasm realm. And so hell has rules, and in the Violator series, where Baziel, aka Violator, is getting a walkthrough tour of the newly created hell, by Lucifer. Lucifer is explaining to him that hell is a construct of the human mind. Humans have pretty much created hell, not God.
But that's Violator's interpretation. You can't
It
trust
is
Violators.
right. Yeah.
right,
So you
but
can't.
no,
You
no,
can't.
and that's understandable. But in
Yeah.
Violator, you have that, and then you have Spawn issue 6-7, where you have Billy Kincaid and you have the Vindicator or whatever doing a walkthrough explaining all the layers and whatnot. So there's
Mhm.
rules to hell. With if he was to create a reality, I don't think he'd have a specific set of rules like that for hell. He would just do it a certain way. I don't think he would want to have anything to do with hell to begin with.
But you already have like the 9 rings of hell. So you already have like demon lords that rule each ring. Like you got greed.
True. Yeah.
You have so many layers already that you can play with when it comes to hell. I want to go back to the Wanda piece because
Yeah, and I can't find
Cyan,
that for some reason. So sorry, guys.
uh,
Sean, if you can
I,
pull it up. Yeah.
Yeah, give me
Cyan,
one moment.
Cyan warned Al, and she told him she's gone. You need to move on.
Move
So
on.
I
Yeah,
think
exactly.
I think that is a pivotal Easter egg right there because when she says that she's knowing that she's in heaven. She's gone. So kind of warning him like don't trust anyone that potentially could be Wanda. I think that's going to come back and bite Al in the butt because it's either Violet or someone else being Wanda in this last version here.
Yeah,
Or
and
the
I think
actual Mandarin.
well, yeah, and I don't know too much about the Mandarin Spawn, to be honest. I have no idea what he does or what he stands for, power wise. But there, when Sean brings it up, as he's got a version we can look at for this, some of the stuff that Wanda says at the very end of the issue are things I don't really have heard Wanda say before, and it makes me think that it's a manipulative thing. Now she's either doing it to recruit Spawn because the whole issue is about the Mandarin Spawn trying to get Al to submit to their power and to join their group, and she wants to wage a war on heaven and hell. But she mainly says heaven, which is interesting because she's like, the 4 of us cannot survive against heaven, just the 4 of us, without you. And the fact that the little clowns are there with that group is kind of interesting, even though they explained it was just kind of they were caught up in this whole month or 2 month or whatever it's been of people not having powers. All right, let me bring this up here real quick. All right, so here's the panel with the little spawns, and they instantly like gravitate to Spawn as soon as they see him, which is that was kind of odd in itself. I don't know if they're just because it's a hell thing and they felt more comfortable after rolling with this group. I don't know, but overall, just circling back to the Wanda thing.
You want the Wanda down?
Yeah, go to
Okay.
the Wanda thing, because I want to bring that up specifically. I want to point out what she says, and I want Jay to give me his opinion on this, since he hasn't seen the actual dialogue yet on this. I'm gonna pull it off just until you get there. Let me know when you get there. But no, I agree with you, Eric. Like, there's the Violator / the Clown we have not seen in a while, since 350. He's gonna play a big part. He can. There's no way he won't, right? So we're gonna find out here. We got a lot of people jumping in here.
Lollipop Gang.
Is that what it is?
What's up?
Okay.
Yeah.
What's up?
Too many letters. Lollipop Gang. Shout out. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. If you guys are new to the chat, you're new to the show, please like and subscribe to the channel. Share it out. Let people know we're live, and then jump into the discussion. If you were a fan of Spawn, if you guys have any theories out there, I want to see them in the chat as well. Edwin's also jumping in the house. Great to see you.
What's up, Ace?
As well,
yeah,
my
so I'm
friend.
at the part where
Okay.
they're about to fight. So let me know if you want. it to
Yeah,
go
keep
down
going
more.
down. Just go down to the second to last page, because that's when she does the manipulative talk. Matt LaRock's in the house. What's going
What's
on?
up, Matt? Good to see you.
Okay, so here we go. This is where the Mandarin Spawn starts talking to Al, trying to really do a last-ditch effort to kind of get his allegiance. But she says, at this point, we know it's Wanda, but she says, "Why are you doing this? It's God we should be fighting. He's the one that has split us apart, who took everything we had. Let me help, Al. Help you escape from your darkness so we can be together. Isn't that what you've always wanted, for us to be together?" Now, to me, I haven't heard Wanda really talk like that. Now, maybe she has. I haven't read issues, 200 through 200 to 300. Maybe there was a reconnection there. I've never heard Wanda really want to get back with Al. Am I off my rocker on this? Because she's still very much
There is no
Terry's
reconnect.
girl.
There is no reconnect in issue 300 with her.
Yeah.
But if it is a ploy, God fucking help him, because they're not gonna live to see the next day if he finds out that that's a ploy.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think, Gooch? I mean, to me, that's a setup. And then the very next page is, he's like, "What are you talking about? Go ahead and go down, Sean." And he rips off the character's armor because he wants to see who it is. And the revealing is then, boom, it's Wanda, So, Wanda!
Damn. They need her, so he's a cuck again. That's why.
I'm not buying this. Because Mandarin is known for using a lot of cool magic and stuff like that.
Okay,
let's talk about that.
Yeah, bring that in, because I don't know a lot about the Mandarin Spawn. So fill me in on that. Yeah.
Well, he's fast. He can regenerate. He's like one of the cool spawns out there, and so I'm thinking this is a play. I think this is a power move by him to try to convince Spawn to join in their chess game against Heaven and Hell. I think we're going to get a different look in the next book, possibly, if I'm correct. If not, I think someone else is like possibly Violator or someone else.
So you're thinking this is a Mandarin trick then?
Yeah, I just don't buy it, because
okay.
Cyan, when I said, I just said this, but like Cyan, she there's no need for her to have that dialogue in the book. Why put that there? There's a reason for that conversation. I think.
Well, they could they could also be fucking around with her too, honestly, right? Like they could have planned that. And
you're absolutely right. So I think when we go through this, we're going to be like Todd or Thomas or whoever will go. Remember back in this episode or this book here, when Al was talking to Cyan and she said, "You need to move on. She's gone." That was a warning of don't believe exactly what you see. So like, I'm not, because Wanda, she loves Al, but she's not in love with Al. She is
right, exactly.
So like,
the verbiage is off, and that was the thing that caught my eye right off the bat, because I could tell it was building up to be Wanda before the page turn. But then I was just like, that doesn't sound like anything that she would say to Al or anything I've ever heard her
No,
say to Al.
we've never heard
So
that from her.
that threw red alarms, right off the bat. Simulating knowledge. All right, brother, have a good one. Have a good day at work. We will see you later. Thank you for joining us in the chat. Appreciate you. So with that being said, you brought up a great point that I hadn't thought of before, because I was thinking that maybe this was, someone else doing this trickery, but I didn't take into consideration, because I don't know the Mandarin Spawn all that well, that this could just be a trick by the Mandarin Spawn. My thought process will be that this is not Wanda until it's proven to be Wanda, because to me it doesn't make a lot of sense, and it just doesn't sound like Wanda. I think it's just a setup. If we look at the entire issue from the very beginning, the Mandarin Spawn is like, we need you, but I'm the leader. You need to submit to me in this group. And the whole thing between him and the Mandarin Spawn in this issue, the fight back and forth, was the Mandarin Spawn trying to convince Al to join the team. Maybe this is a last-ditch effort because he knows that he's not as powerful as Spawn. He's been pulled into this void. The Spawn brought the character in, is basically dominating the character, and maybe this is a last-ditch effort to try to pull on his heartstrings, because they know that one of Al's only real weakness is Wanda. The clown's been busy with Gunslinger Spawn, so it can't be him. Is he still around?
He
hasn't been in Gunslinger.
Gunslinger is like this weird thing now where he's seeking vengeance still on the guys that killed his sister 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, the family's like still alive. And I think
because I know the Violator was in the early
there.
issues. Yeah, he was in the early issues, but I don't know if he's in the regular.
I think Violator's been
I want to
kicked
say
since 350.
Yeah.
I think Violator hasn't been in Gunslinger since like book 18 or 19 or so. Like he was like, it's been a while.
Yeah, I think the only time we've seen the Violator so far is just in the Violator miniseries, which has nothing to do with current events.
No.
So that's why I'm saying, like, he's hiding in wait somewhere. Now that everybody's got their powers back, he's going to be popping up at some point. Sin's going to be popping up at some point. There's going to be characters that are going to be coming back to make a move here, as we are just now into the midst of everybody getting their powers back, trying to find their footing after this big war. What are the vampires doing? Again, we don't even talk about blood right now. After the last time we saw him, we saw his sect was basically thinking they killed Spawn and, they're taking over. So we have no idea what's going on with them. But here's this big mystery with Wanda. And I think we nailed it. I think we're right on this. I don't think this is Wanda.
It's her.
I think it is.
So Zach's the only one on the panel.
Why would they add, and this is just from writing perspective, why would they add another giant plot hole when the plot hole could be she was in hell being a badass for 10 years, and that's like a story on its own.
So you're so you're saying that you think that she's been the Mandarin Spawn for 10 years?
No. Meaning like where she was in hell being a badass, comes out of hell thinking she's a boss bitch.
But that was that her?
Yeah,
was
that's
that actually her?
100%. And I think we'll find out next issue no matter what. Like, it's not like there's too many. That's what I'm saying too. There's too many openings right now. We have the guy. What was his name? The Curse, right? Or that was
he's going to play a major role because we've seen him. Yeah, we've seen him in the future.
That's 2. We have Nyx. That's 3 with the zombie thing that's coming. We have the vampires, and they're going to add like a 6th thing to this, and we still don't have fake Angela and She Spawn. So
here's the thing, though. We are building up. We all know that big events happen around the quarter issues, right? 1, 25, 50, 75, 100, so on and so forth. We are building up to issue 375 here. And what I've speculated all along, and what Brett kind of shined some light on a little bit when he was on, is you're building up some epic battle. As far as we know, Brett is only on until 375. That's all he's said. Maybe he's on longer, but he knows for a fact he's going to be on
the next 3 issues.
Do you think it's going to be coming up soon, or this is a new story that they're building up to the battle? Because to me, this would be the start of a new arc. Now that everybody's got their powers back, we got to do another slow burn. We got to see where everybody's at. We got to start seeing the major players coming in, what they're doing, Jason Wynn, like all this kind of stuff. And it's going to build up to 375 to be this big epic battle. And you could, especially with an artist like Brett, I mean, just think of the stuff he could do with a battle with a shit ton of characters, right? All fighting this massive war. You got all these different sects, almost like a Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, that the end battle there, where you had all the different races and they're all battling over the same thing. I'm seeing something like that in my mind happening here with the Spawn universe. You got heaven, you got hell, you got green world, you got the people fighting for the human race, and that's all a massive battle that's going to happen in 375. That's just what I'm thinking.
We also don't know where Lyra is.
Right, we haven't seen her in a couple issues. Yeah,
yeah.
But I think it's 65 because he said he's drawing all these characters now. You know what I mean? I think it's now. I think because you got to think like this. Like, what is that? When he was like, "Oh, I see God's light." What was that? 5-6 issues ago? You know, we got to get to that point, and that point was like this big battle. There was chains all around them.
I think it was only like 3 issues. I think it was 358 when that happened.
5 months.
I'd have to. Well, time wise, yeah. Issue wise, you know, Eric says Brett wants to do a Haunt solo book after 375. I mean, that's something he said on the show that he would like to do. I don't know if that's actually in the works. I mean, he would also like to do. There's a ton of stuff that he would like to do.
I'd like to continue. He says like he might continue doing this depending on the story.
Yeah, yeah. And he's a fast enough artist. I think if they gave him enough lead time, that he could fit another title or another book in there, a one-off book here or there. But I think that was he was mentioning that in essence to a question that was asked in the chat of like, what would he like to do in the Spawn universe? And he said that he would really like to do a Haunt. Maybe that happens, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But I right now, I don't know. I think it's too early to have this massive battle because everybody just got their power back. You know, you think we just went on this 12-issue journey or a year issue journey from 300 or 350 to where we are now to get everybody's power back. And there was a lot of stuff within those stories that were kind of open-ended. A lot of things they kind of introduced, never went back to, plot holes, if that's what you want to call them. I think you got to slow burn this again and start bringing things together so you can bring up the tension to 375. Otherwise, if they try to push this in the next 3 issues to get to like 365 or something, and now you're having this epic conclusion, I don't know if that would do this justice. I think it would be too rushed. I mean, what are you guys thinking?
Well, I gotta say that I think that this has been a pretty freaking hardcore slow burn since issue 300, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it took 50 issues to finally get to the throne. I mean, it was like, you know, he lost his powers only to realize that Al has had him all along. It's not the powers that make him Spawn. He is Spawn. Then it's the fight for the throne. And then they finally figure that out. And then right after that, like everyone gets their powers back like that was intentional. I think that if they slow burn that, it's gonna make everyone lose interest. It's for Nyx to do what she just did, she's close to perfecting her plan. She wouldn't do that.
Let me jump in real quick and just throw a correction. I don't mean slow burn as in just completely drop off at everything. Slow burn as far as in building up to the big thing. You can still have major events within the slow burn building up to like the big event that we saw in issue 358 where the Lord's light comes back and we see curse and chains and all this kind of stuff. You can have stuff because Spawn still needs to deal with blood. They have to deal with blood. Everybody does. Like that's still an issue that's going on. So there's things that have to be dealt with before you get to, in my opinion, before you get to the big battle, you know, the pay-per-view, right? You got to get some mid-card fights out of the way first. They're going to be fun and people are anticipating. But before you get to the main event, you got to hit those things. That's the only reason why I say a slow burn in that aspect. Not that it's just going to, you know, go to a halt here. It's just going to be a bunch of talking.
So all that being said, like Zach, why do you think there's going to be another realm like because when you say that, I think of Superman, like the Phantom Zone. Like that's that's the first thing I think of when you said that. So like, why do you think that's going to be a possibility?
All right, so way back to issues 70 to 80 of Spawn, when he was still trying to figure himself out, you had Green World reaching out to him in around the issues 30 to 40. You had him doing all these fancy things in issues 70 to 80, which was building up to 100, but it's opening up the possibility that there's going to be other dimensions and other realities. and whatnot, that he can finally be happy with Wanda. And um you see it happen in DC with realities all the time, and we have all gotten really tired of it. It's been overused and overdone. I think if you're gonna do a realm, create one, like Spawn is the perfect type of comic for that to even happen, because it just makes sense. I mean, Green World is just this added in reality, which is supposed to be the neutral zone between heaven and hell. So if Green World was an added realm that came in later for a neutral party, then why wouldn't Al have that power or obtain that power to create one for himself as well? It it seems so, like, if you have Curse of the Spawn, right? And I think the fact that he's there, um, also, says a lot too, because he's the, if I remember correctly, he is the Spawn of the future, where Earth is pretty much damn near like desolate, and there was just only a certain amount of populace that's trying to survive from the results of the war of heaven and hell. So the fact that Curse of the Spawn is making a play now, it seems that the reality of Nyx's plan is so close to being in a completed fruition of wiping out Earth into a wasteland, that Curse of the Spawn has to come in and try to avoid that. That's his main motivation, is to prevent that cataclysm from happening. So in order for the big plan, where again Al is all about, oh Al, you pig-headed son of a bitch, like, you have no idea how important you are as an individual, that you can go ahead and make a difference and change everything. And they keep spinning that. So I think that he's going to play God himself and prevent that future event from happening, which Curse of the Spawn can finally go back to that setting. And I don't know, man. There's so many plot holes. There's so like this in Spawn that hasn't been solved, so it's hard for me to like stick on one.
That does make it harder. I
Yeah,
think
but
that's
like
something
the
to address.
characters that
There are plot
yeah,
holes.
and the characters that are there shows that it seems that we're nearing that end. Why is Curse of Spawn coming in now? He is the Spawn of the future.
And that was a Todd move. Because Brett said that, that came from Todd.
But he's not gonna just do it because it looks fucking cool.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, either he is trying to sell new toys, which is fine, or that he's got an overall idea for that specific character to be jump in. I get that. I don't know. I don't know on some of this. I said before maybe a few months ago when we were talking about what the curse was up to and the Lord's light and what all this meant. And I said, what if you did an arc where Spawn got his powers back and he actually went a little bit villain, right? Where he just kind of goes to a point where he was tired of humanity, he was tired of this fight, and everybody ended up having to fight him in a lot of aspects, and that he was the Lord's light. Like there was a mess up. I can't remember what issue it was, but there was something that he said. I was like, man, what if they went with that whole, do the Hal Jordan story arc, right? Where he just kind of goes villain for a little bit and you have to deal with him, because Spawn is an immensely powerful character, ridiculously powerful. And we've been reintroduced to that power ever since he got his power back over the last couple of issues, where he's been beating everybody's ass, like easily, beat Nyx's ass, beat Mandarin Spawn, kick the shit out of this group that we just saw in the last issue. Like nobody is, being able to even hold a candle to him. So,
well, that makes more sense of like, you can't overpower him, so you got to use psychology to break him down. So,
which would play into the Mandarin Spawn thing you're saying.
Mandarin Spawn, the Wanda and Hell, like everyone screwing and fucking up with his head, so he has no idea which way to turn, who to trust, who to listen to. You got so many characters popping in now that are scrambling his brain of like, you got the vampires, you got the green world, you got hell, you got heaven, like plus you got the other spawns. Like it's just, there's a lot there of for Spawn to grab a hold of and actually figure out. And then you throw the Violator in here again. So I mean, it's
and we haven't even seen Sin. I mean, there's a lot of people that haven't come back yet that are going to be major players. I think when it's all said and done, I think what's awesome about the storytelling in this, whether it is plot hole induced in some ways, but there's what we're doing right now is there's a lot of questions. Speculating on where they're going is a hard thing because everybody kind of has a different feel or a different thought process. And I think that's what's been really good with the writing with McConville and now Todd taking back over of where are you actually going with the main title of Spawn. And I think every time I have a feeling of where they're going, they send me in a different direction. So in that aspect, the writing's been good. It's been an entertaining book. That's why we do the show. So I don't know. I mean, we didn't really get to what we would do with if we wrote Spawn. Maybe we'll do that next week. So running up here on time. But just to wrap things up, if you guys had to quickly guess what 375 would be, because Eric brought it up here. He said so 375 and Scorch 50 are going to be around the same time. Perfect timing for a big all-out war crossover. Todd loves issues of 50 landmarks, and that's what I was saying. Like those big seminal issues, the quarter issues, 50, 75, 100. All that stuff. There's going to be something big for 375. There just cannot be. That's why I think that if you're going to do a slow burn-esque storyline up to 375, that's got to be what we're all anticipating. Like that's got to be the big thing we're anticipating. So do you think that would be the conclusion of what we saw in 358? Because that's what I think. And I'm fine waiting that long, but that's what I think is going to happen.
I think Spawn takes over Heaven.
Hold that thought. That's a great thought. Rossi gifted 1 membership to the channel. Thank you so much to Zach Fernandez. So thank you.
Nice.
What was I haven't played this in forever, but to the new members, I used to say, use this clip, which I used to love.
And Bob, remember, you are my number one guy. Yes, sir.
Shout out to Bob. Rest in peace, Bob. I miss Bob. Used to have a Bob emoji. Don't have him anymore. That's some old channel lore right there. Thank you, Rossi, so much. We appreciate it. And shout out to Zach Fernandez for picking that up as well. All right, Sean.
Yes.
I like your thinking there. I like your thinking. Go with that for a second.
Okay, I think God's coming in eventually. I think it's going to be a war. I think he's going to take over Heaven for 375. I think we're going to see some of those more haunt type of creatures that Jason Wynn is kind of breeding or fucking around with in the stasis. I think it's going to be balls to the wall action and bananas. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. Takes over Heaven.
No, I'm down with that. I think that's a cool idea.
It's changed. We haven't seen it yet.
I was just gonna say it's something that hasn't happened yet, so why not?
Yeah.
Gooch, wrapping it up with a quick thought there with 375.
Reflecting on everything that's been said and everything that we've read, I'm thinking this is more of a psychological warfare against Al Simmons. Either people are trying to use him or kind of push him in a certain direction. And I think it's going to come down to the vampires, Jason Wynn, and Hell. And then I think in issue 400, we're going to start to see Heaven play a big factor. I think I think putting God and everything at this point is just, it doesn't make sense to me. You got to settle what's happening right now. And that is Blood, Wynn, and Nyx. Who's going to be taking the lead there, and where does Spawn play into all that? So I think 375 will have a war, but it's not the war we think it's going to be.
I like that thought. I really do. And that's kind of more along the wines that I'm thinking too. Paul, what are you thinking? Wrapping on 375.
I think we're getting at least a big battle. 365. We're gonna have that giant zombie monster, right? We got that zombie monster coming that's about to get cooked. So I think that one's getting cooked. And I think by 375, the one bridge that is completely eliminated is the vampires. I think we're done with vampires. 375. I think he needs to, what Blood did to him, it needs to be like 10 times worse to him. And then that's what needs to happen at 375. There might be a thing, like you said, like it's all this shit. He wants no part of it. So maybe Heaven and everyone's fighting over here, and he's going to go finish Blood over there, and get that shit done while there's all out war. And then maybe after he finishes Blood, then he chooses his new target.
Yeah, I definitely think we're building up to, the Blood thing has to be taken care of. Zach, what are you thinking? Quick wrap up.
I swear to God, if he's a villain by issue 375, then God help us all, bro. He is. That would be intense. But I don't know. I think that I think God is. I'm interested to see God start coming in, like actually starting to take the form of an individual, like its strongest form or whatever. Start making a foothold into this war. Because Nyx is, she's making a whole frontal assault against it. So I think that's, when that happens, and I don't know, man. I think that Al is going to be, worn down even more so than he has been. I mean, if this isn't Wanda, and that was just all part of the plan, then why would you want to go ahead and push him over the edge? I truly don't know, but if that was the case, man, I can only imagine what the hell they have in store for him. But whatever is happening by issue 375 will be the next growing. It's the next growing pain for everyone to really appreciate the character, because either it's an obstacle he's going to overcome, because Al is better than that, or he says, "Fuck it, let me seep into this, and it's going to change me for the worse." And you know what? I don't care, because he also could swing that kind of way too.
All those are great thoughts. What it is we're leading up to something really awesome. I think it's gonna be a great build up. I can't wait till the next issue come out to see where we are going with everything. So go out and buy the next issue, guys, because we're gonna jump into that next month whenever it comes out, or maybe next month in April. We'll get into it. Before we get out of here, I just want to highlight a couple of the creators that we have on the channel right now. We got Hall of Famers. Project Naosis is rocking and rolling. Quick shout out to this, and I want to look at Type 1, and I'll let everybody go because Gooch is going to fall asleep. I'm getting tired, and it's time to end the show.
All right, so quick little scroll down real fast. We're $86 away from hitting 3K, and 3K gets us that book. This book's lines and inks are already done. We're already starting the colors. That is our interior. Wait, scroll up a little bit. That is our interior artist that also does the cover. So we have Crimson Pain. You're getting Crimson Pain's origin. So in Crimson Pain's origin, we find out why he killed 90 million people. You're going to find out that reason on top of the aftermath of everything that we've been transpiring. So that's the interior pages of the book. I have amazing artists on the book. A single book's only $10. You can get all the books for $60. Everything we have for $100. You can be even drawn as a custom character inside the book for $200. You can't beat that. Join us. We're so close. Don't you want to be the backer that says, hey, I helped him get to his goal because I need you. And on top of that, back my Kickstarter, and then WonderCon this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Anaheim, California. Booth SP42 in small press. Your boy's about to run it up. So come join us.
Hell yeah. I backed this book, and I got the catch-up tier, or the 0 through 6. Definitely go do that. The price is a can't beat, and you get all these books. So guys, do that. Links are in the chat. Hill Lore's dropping them in there. I appreciate you. We also have Sean.
That was
Sean
nice
Ahrendt's. And we got some great mods. Type 1. The hell's Type 1 at?
Right here.
Did I close out the page?
Damn, dude.
I'm a horrible friend. Hold on a second.
Wow.
Right here.
As you're still waiting, guys, remember Project Naosis episode 6 live on Kickstarter. Let's fucking go.
That was embarrassing.
He said you were slow with it.
that was my embarrassing. All right, my bad on that. Type 1, everybody. We
Here
are
we go.
having
The
on
action
Indiegogo
adventure
and my
story. Yeah, we are
Wonder.
$80 away from hitting 10K. I got some great campaign tiers. We're going to be updating the tiers next couple of weeks. If you get the Ultimate 1 tier, even though it's $200, you'll be getting 9 books, bust ink sketch, 9 trading cards, and some other nonsense as a thank you. It's the only place you can get the whole foil version of Con Artist Volume 3, The Art of Type 1. And yeah, you get to pick and choose which variant from my esteemed friends you want to choose from in their old tiers. Yeah, man,
The
not writing
answer is this
Shakespeare.
one.
Yeah, go for that one. He's got to catch up.
Yeah.
But we're getting there. We're gonna sometime in April. We're gonna redo it, and but we're almost at 10K. So thank you to everyone. We're
Everybody
rocking
check
and
it out. Links are down below. Support the creators on this channel. Go sub to everybody. Sub to the Gooch, who does great content all week long. Gooch and the friends, Gooch and the gang on Sundays is kicking it off, killing it. Over 300, almost 400 people in the chat. Just awesome stuff. So you don't want to miss anything that he's doing. Paul's doing great stuff. Zach is drawing. Zach, what are you drawing tonight? You want to show anything off before we get out of here?
Tell you right
I want to
now,
advertise you.
Curse of the Spawn is a bitch, bro. I got the pencils laid down, so I'm ready to start. Damn, that lighting is terrible.
Yeah, it's gonna look good. Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
Nice.
Again,
I like
there
it.
we go.
You can
Oh
barely
yeah, get it close.
Closer.
No, dude, I can't wait. If you guys are not following Zach, you're doing something wrong. Follow him on social media. Pick up all these pieces he draws on my show, on Jay's show, all over the place. He's got these for sale. He just had an auction. You saw the pieces. If you check that out, it does amazing work. He's a great artist, keeps getting better and better, and we want to support him any way that we can. So, all right, we're going to get out of here, guys. You all have a great night. Thursday night, Hot Stuff, 8 p.m. We're going to be looking at the new Batman 158 Hush #2 is coming out. We will tell you what we think about that. And then the Ronan Joe show at 10 p.m. on Sundays. Be there. It's a lot of fun. And then right back here Monday at 9 p.m. for the Spawn review. Next week, maybe we will get into what we would do if we were writing Spawn. But we'll see. Until then, everybody, be good to each other. You know what I'm saying? Take care of one another. Give them a hug. And while you're doing that, picture me naked. Talk to y'all later. Peace.
Hell are you? Spawn. You sent me to hell, Jason. I'm here to return the favor.